Two. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from and how did you get into this music game?
My name's Dan. I'm 28 years old. I'm from South Africa, from Johannesburg in particular. And I've been doing music for the last 12 years. But more so, when I was living in London, I was working with a producer there who wrote ballady kind of stuff. She was a classical pianist and stuff like that. So that's where I fell in love with music production, and I found my voice and kind of the sound that I wanted to go for. But then when I moved to back to South Africa from London, sorry, I get so distracted when there's a lot of movement. When I moved back to South Africa, I fell in love with the culture, with the people, with amapiano in particular, and I love the bass lines and everything.
So when did you move back to South Africa and how long were you in London for?
I was in London for 3 years and I moved back to South Africa about 2.5, 3 years ago.
Okay, so is music something that you were always in pursuit of?
Yeah, definitely. Since I left school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is it that attracted you to wanting to get into the mapiano sound? Whereas you had, you were working with someone who's classically trained and all of that. What is it about mapiano that got you interested?
I think I just, I asked myself, like, what kind of music do I enjoy listening to? What do I bop with, and what could be commercially viable in South Africa? And I love pop music. I love amapiano. I love the bass lines, as I said, and the beats. And I love that it's like got house elements in it. So I wanted to create a fusion between pop music and amapiano.
Awesome stuff. And how has it been since you ventured into that space?
Incredible. I mean, it's just music connects everybody, and especially with social media nowadays, you can really create a platform for yourself. And I've connected with so many people already, and especially that was my goal in South Africa, is to work with as many producers and musicians as possible, because I want to grow, I want to diversify myself as an artist, and I think that it will bring that opportunity for me as time comes.
All right, so who are some of the people that you've gotten to work with so far?
Well, I've been working with my producer, Vuga M Beats, and he's just executive produced Gigi Lebyane's new album. So he's a very talented boy. He's done a lot up until this point, and him and I have a very good relationship. We're working on a new album now at the moment, and there's a few people that I'm going to approach once this single has gotten more traction on it.
All right, so tell me about this single. What's the story behind this single?
So SIYAJIVA is one of my favorite Zulu sayings. It's like, when the cats are away, the mice will play. And I just loved the concept of the music video, and then we brought it to life with the gogo and the sun, and I think it's just a very relatable phrase. And I came up with the hook, I gave it to other producers, no one ran with it, and I thought to myself, why don't I just make it, and then I could show people sonically what I was thinking about. And then when I made it, I was like, wow, this is something that I really enjoy. And since then, we've had a bunch of other singles come out of it. Like the next single that I'm doing, we're shooting the music video on Friday for it. And I've gotten Costa Chicha's lead dancer, Angelo, to choreograph the entire music video, which is an amazing opportunity for me, and this is what I'm saying, it connects you with a whole bunch of diverse people, and for me it's so energizing to be around creatives and come up with concepts and phrases and learn the language through music.
Okay, so in terms of like being in this amapiano space, because obviously everyone is jamming on it, you were in London, people in London are picking it up in West Africa, as well. What is it that you think you bring to the game of amapiano?
I think that obviously being a white female, that already it brings diversity in terms of the different audiences. As well as, I just think that having the attitude of wanting to learn about Zulu and African culture, being a white person, I think that's kind of like, it's going to allow other white people to also understand the space more, and I'm hoping to educate people, on the things that I've learned.
Okay, so what have you learned so far?
Zulu language and Zulu culture, it's like, I think that we haven't embraced it as a white culture, we haven't embraced it as much as we should because we haven't taken the time to understand it. And so for me, just hanging around in these circles, and generally when I go out, I'm literally the only white person there, me and my girlfriend. And we are so loved and embraced and accepted, and it's just it's so humbling. I can't explain to you how amazing it's been for me to be accepted in this manner. You know, all of us just want to be loved and accepted and seen for who we are, and I feel like the way that I've been embraced by other musicians, people in the industry, you know, it's been humbling, to say the least.
Okay, so in terms of like your musical journey, obviously you're right at the beginning of it, so to say. Yeah, and you're jumping on the Mapiano sound, and you're creating, you know, a space for yourself. So who's Denshaw, if people want to know, like, you know, why should we be listening to your music, and who's Denshaw?
I don't know how to answer that like so succinctly. It's just, I want to make music, I want to have fun, I want to connect with as many people as possible, and I want to learn more about the African culture. And yeah.
So what have you learned so far since you've been in this Mapiano space? What are the few things that you've learned about African culture?
That they are some of the most fashionable people I've ever met.
Okay.
The music is just impeccable. Like, you know, all of these festivals that I go to, it's just like, how have I not been exposed to this kind of music, this culture before?
So what festivals have you been attending? What have you been to so far?
I think it was called Good Morning, the last one that I went to, and Shakana was headlining there. There was DJ Duap, and she was also playing so many different artists that I'd never heard before. Like I said, it's not something that you're generally exposed to unless you really are interested in the space.
Okay. So obviously, is there a full project, like an EP or an album? What's happening with Denshaw?
So the next single that I've got coming out is Kwenzakalani. And after that, it's a song called Imagination. So we've got the phrase Kadu Kijima Kabangani Wami. Yeah, you've been running in my mind.
Yeah.
And after those singles drop, then I would like to drop an EP. But I'm just also going to see, we've also got a track that we're making right now, which is Afro tech / pop / amapiano. So it's all of these kind of genres put into one, but then with an English vocal.
Okay.
So we're playing with the sound a lot, and it's fun.
Okay. Well, Denshaw is my guest this afternoon. So as you heard, she's making music. We just played a song from her called SIYAJIVA Gekukoko. That's a song that you know, she's also working on. So are you fully on learning Zulu, or are you just working with phrases for now?
Phrases for now, but if anyone's out there who would like to teach me, I'm so open to learning. I absolutely love the language. I wish I did speak it.
Okay, so how do people follow you and get in touch with what you're doing? Are you on socials?
Yes, ma'am. It's The Real Dan Shaw.
The Real Denshaw.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's happening, obviously, with Amapiano is that, you know,